Hey everyone, Draconus here, and this time around would like to give you kind of an introductory review to Shadow Tactics, Blades of the Shogun. So what is Shadow Tactics? It's a real-time strategy game where you control a small number of characters or units through each map in an attempt to achieve your objective goal. Now, if you've ever seen or played anything called Commandos, you'll be familiar with this style of gameplay. So while this is an RTS, it's not your typical RTS, where you construct a base and build up and train an army. In this game, if you lose even one of your team members during that particular level, the game is over, which certainly adds to the difficulty of completing a level. As the title suggests, it's based on a feudal Japanese setting, and your team is comprised of several different agents loyal to a shogun who rules the world and is trying to stamp out a rebellion that's grown up from the ashes of his conquest. Now, the UI itself is fairly clean and straightforward, and I didn't find it to be overly intrusive on the gameplay itself. Shadow Tactics begins very slowly introducing you to each of the members of your team, and each map kind of switches up which team member you'll get a chance to use. Each member has their own set of skills that you'll need to use in order to clear different sections of the map, preferably without alerting any of the guards. See, if you alert the guards, you've just upped your challenge for completing that particular level, as more guards will pour out of doorways to reinforce the security in whichever area they were alerted. There's also an option you'll want to make use of, where you can queue an action for each of your characters, and then allow them to complete those actions all at the same time. That way, when you run into a couple of different guards separated by a certain distance, but can still see each other, you can position your team to strike both simultaneously. My one complaint about how the game plays is that if you do get caught, your guys just don't defend themselves. They pretty much just stand there and take damage. They only act if you're giving them direct instructions. So this can be a real problem at times when you get discovered in one part of the map and you have a unit in another part of the map that then gets discovered because of the guards that come out to search the area. With the guards on alert and attacking your units, you can't keep them both alive at the same time. If they at least use their basic attack to defend themselves, you might get a little more survivability out of that. Either way, the game itself is still pretty fun. So in conclusion, we'll go through each of the categories we use to kind of grade the game and give it its final rating. For design, I marked it a 9. The game and the artwork is beautifully done and does a lot to showcase the setting and add to that story. For challenge, I also marked it a 9. I found the game to be quite challenging, especially when trying to complete a level without ever being seen, which in some cases I found to be nearly impossible. Though it wasn't so challenging that I ever wanted to stop playing in frustration, which was good. The game does a great job of being challenging in a way that even if you fail, you want to go back and try a different approach to clear through the level. For fun, I marked it an 8. I haven't yet found enough time to play through more than the first several levels, but I've had a lot of fun playing thus far, even when I end up cursing myself for the game because I made a dumb mistake or tried to rush through an area to catch up to where I was before my last save. The only thing I found frustrating was sometimes getting seen by a guard off screen, but then that taught me to take things a little bit slower and check out an area a little more fully before committing to an action. For replay, we marked it a 7. There's several reasons why one might want to play through this a few times. Speedrunning it could be fun. Finding different ways to get through the maps, or even handicapping oneself by not using certain team members, just to see if you can still get through the level, can be quite a bit of challenge. And as far as the price goes, I marked it an 8 because for this particular game, it's got a price tag of $39.99 US dollars, and I feel the game is definitely worth the cost. Now, if you're still on the fence after having seen this or some other videos or even the write-up on Steam, they have a free demo on Steam that you can check out to help you make up your mind. So that brings us to an overall score of 8.2 out of 10. It scored pretty high for us, so it definitely enjoyed it. And if you think you might enjoy a particular type of game like this, I encourage you to go and check it out. Thanks.
My thanks again for your assistance. Be good.